international break sitting up in third place.
Yeah, not even the league position. Obviously that comes into the equation, but I think just for us, we wanted to follow up last week. We wanted to get another victory. We wanted to make sure that we're in good form, which I think we have been since the start of the season. I keep saying that, but you need to back it up with wins as well. So yeah, I think it puts us in a decent place, but I need to remind everybody that it's only one game of football. So we came into the game and obviously there's been a lot of praise for St Mirren and how they're performing and how they're going about their business. We knew it was going to be a tough game. Conditions add a wee bit into that as well. But I probably feel it was as comfortable a victory as you're ever going to get against St Mirren, to be honest with you. And that's no disrespect. I'm a huge advocate of what Stephen does and what he has been doing for a while, but I never felt under threat today, and that clean sheet's massive for us as well, that we kept our concentration to see ourselves to another 3 points, and we just need to keep that level of consistency moving forward, as challenging as that can be.
Your heart reminds me about with the Robbie Dees incident and the VAR. We've heard so much about handballs and what they actually mean.
Not really. I think you get to a point now where you what will be will be. I think we've seen a situation. I think it was Richardson, the fullback for St Mirren. It's actually just in a phase of play where he controls it with his foot and it comes off his arm, and we're obviously screaming for a handball. Now it's not in a penalty box, but we've spoken so much in the last couple of weeks about that type of thing, and you know it was a result of coming off your own foot, so it's not a foul in the middle of the park, which kind of goes back to the point. So where I'm going with it is very simply, you don't know sometimes. So I think getting your heart in your mouth and getting exasperated about it's probably not a thing.
We spoke to Marcus there, Stuart. How pleasing was it to see him get that kind of goal?
Yeah, no, I need to go back to his work ethic on this, and I need to go back to the coaching staff and everybody that works with the players. But it's a brilliant moment because Marcus has headed a few balls this week in practice. We've spent a lot of time with him trying to make his movement into the box, trying to get away from defenders, but also the quality of the finish. You know, the bit that's obvious all the time is he's 6'7", but we feel that he can pitch in with more goals from those crosses into the box, and I think that's why you've seen him running over to Stevie Frail and some of the guys after his goal, because we're having to drag him off the pitch because he wants to get better. So I always go back to it. That's the most pleasing thing for coaching staff, that you do your work during the week to try and reap the rewards at the weekend. And I think everybody's seen how much the big fella brings to the game. We feel that he can chip in with more goals, as does he. So nice for him to get his rewards.
Sure, you just touched on it, that it's the most comfortable victories you're going to get against that St Mirren side. How pleased are you that your team managed to not only just nullify St Mirren's attack, but to have not even Max a bit troubled as much? Yeah, it needs to. You never ever envisage it's going to be like that. And again, it's not my place to speak for Stephen. I spoke about how much I hold him in a high regard and for what he's done and his team do pretty much every week. It's just that side of it comes into the equation for us, in the sense that they generally create chances and they generally put you under a lot of pressure. There was a wee bit of territory in the second half, but I felt it was with comfort, and I think that was because the back line were as composed as they were last week against Dundee United, and we don't start to get flustered when they get into certain areas. The organisation's good, the concentration's good. So in this world where we get lost in just purely attacking play, I'm somebody that celebrates good defending, and I think we've seen plenty of that from our back line again today.
You obviously had a big change in the back line over the summer. You lost 3 really big players from years gone by. So how pleasing is it to get that second clean sheet in a row?
Now listen, it can be. It then just becomes an opportunity for other people to step forward. You know, it's as simple as that. I've acknowledged a couple of times how many big players were lost from the football club, but you don't just say that in words. But people that actually have contributed and contributed with quality here. But what do? Do you feel sorry for yourself, or do you go and try and empower somebody else? And I think it's fair to say that the early signs have been that there's a lot of players that were maybe already in the building that want to step forward and fill that void, as well as some of the guys that we've brought in. And there's still 1 or 2 sitting there that, you know, I'm thinking about the likes of Zach Williams, that's maybe not had that opportunity yet, but the opportunity's not came because the guys that are playing in front of him have done so well.
I was going to ask you, do you think there's still improvement in your team? Because like James Brown, that was a great cross for the goal.
Yep.
Dom Thompson now getting his fitness up and
yep.
getting used to the team, new teammates.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. But certainly I can tell you that's what we're striving for. I relate back to having guys like Jamie Brandon and Tom Lowry in the treatment room, but they're getting closer to fitness. We've lost Marley Watkins, which was a real blow to us this week. You know, I could argue that Jamie Brandon was potentially our most consistent player until he got injured. So there's still good quality to come. Looking at my bench today, and I see loads of scenarios and different connotations of who we can throw in and how we can change things. I probably just felt that didn't need disrupted too much during the game today, but that doesn't mean to say that there's not a lot of quality there. So yeah, our goal and our thought process is we can and we will get better, and we'll need to, because this league throws up so many challenges. So don't get carried away with yourself. 2 wins, 2 clean sheets, 2 excellent performances, monkey off the back I suppose in a home win and an away win, but we want to build on it. We're not happy just to sit here and celebrate that for the next week and a half or whatever until we get back to action.
You've spoken a little bit about Marcus Dacker's being a bit of a sort of project player. He obviously got the goal today, but how pleased have you been with his development as a footballer since he's come into the club? It's
been huge. I think you go to the obvious angle of hold-up play because of his size, but I would flip it. You see the dying embers of the game, you see he's got good feet, you can see he can run and shift into wide areas as well. So, no, I think he showed us a lot. And one of the simple ones that people kind of forget is that match fitness. So if you'd watched him at the start of the season when he's cramping up and he's starting to fatigue, he looks like he can play 90 minutes and more now, which that pleases me because he's getting the opportunity to spend time on the pitch. Thanks very much.